Arsenal 3, Tottenham 2. The NLD derby is done now. And of course, Tottenham have lost for a second consecutive year in a row at the Lane in the NLD. Now, there's a lot of things to talk about, including Kai Havertz changing the minds of many, many fans, including mine. And we're going to get into that. Bukayo Saka performances, Erdegaard performances, Son performances, and just Tottenham performances, managerial tactics, and all that sort of stuff. It won't be too long. But of course, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the like button as well. Let's get this video to about 150 likes. And then let's just keep it moving. Apologies for the 2-2 video for Liverpool. I wasn't able to do that video, but we're going to be covering it on stream after this. I've been away, so I'm back now. Guys, it's really not 65 million down the drain anymore. It's not. It's really not. And I think as rival fans, we need to kind of stand up and, kind of say our apologies. As, there were Arsenal fans as well who were not really convinced on Kai Havertz. And by the way, understandably so, not to be convinced by this man during his years at Chelsea Football Club. But Chelsea do have a kind of a stigma of ruining careers or bringing the worst out of players. And don't get me wrong, it was a bit of a slow start for Kai Havertz. But listen, people even said at March, I said this, by the way, so not just people, I said this. So this is me owning up as well. I even said in March, it's looking like a purple patch to me. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's looking like a purple patch. Now, he did obviously take a little bit there's a few games where he does kind of maybe let the game pass him by, but majority of the games in the business ends of the season, this man has been performing. He has been producing. And a lot of established players from my own club aren't performing during the business ends of the season. Most of my team haven't been performing at the business ends of the season. Some of the City players haven't been performing at the business end of the season. And I think that to be able to do that is a special skill. I'm not saying he does this consistently, I'm not saying this is his thing, but the fact that he's done it deserves credit. Again, this man was completely written off. So this is as well on the basis of being completely written off and being laughed at, chants, songs. So, when he's putting up his tweets and, he's tweeting on he's putting up social media stuff and little videos and stuff, I think he should go ahead and do that. Absolutely, he deserves to do that, because if people have written you up and you prove them wrong, then your flowers need to receive your flowers and 10 times over, in my opinion. Very good game from Kai Havertz on the break, able to elude certain tackles. The ball to Salah was excellent. Wins the header. By the way, it's never a foul with the hands in the back. He just uses his defender to get above, and for me, just nods the header in the back of the net as he's good in the air anyway. So that's never a penalty for me, by the way. So yeah, man. Look, honestly, Kai Havertz, he is coming along really nicely. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things us rival fans have to admit. We got it wrong. Arteta was right, and we'll see how it goes during the next season. If Arsenal win the Premier League, that signing will have to be probably one of the most underrated signings in a long, long, long time. Moving forward, I want to talk about some of the goals and obviously Tottenham's kind of dominance in the second half, I'd say, because for me, it was an interesting start to the game. I felt like Arsenal kind of were really careless with the ball in terms of playing out sometimes. Trossard was losing the ball a few times. There was a few loose passes coming in from the wings into the center of the pitch, and Tottenham just would get the ball and then they just pass it backwards. They weren't direct enough for me. And when a team like Arsenal is a team like Arsenal, the way Arteta is setting up, he gets the players behind the ball. As soon as there's a turnover, all players flood towards the ball or behind the ball, and it becomes very, very difficult to then reset again. It's almost like you're playing out from your own half, even though they've lost the ball in their own half. And that, again, that's something where, again, Arteta's tactics there coming into play defensively, very, very solid. I think Spurs done well. They made chances. They were in the game. I think even at 3-0, it wasn't a 3-0 game. Tottenham just didn't take their chances and were unlucky with the offside goal. But again, you have to credit Arsenal in a derby away from home to be 3-0 up at halftime. Give it a rest, mate. They're doing the business. They are doing the business. Bukayo Saka's goal took it extremely well. Noah Dogie, that left side for Spurs, that left back position was always going to be a liability. Saka gets the ball, goes one way, feints, puts it in the bottom corner. One thing I'll say from Davis, you can't put Bukayo Saka on his left foot. In form or out of form, he will punish you. It's as simple as that. Spurs, listen, it wasn't a Spursy sort of game. As I said, I think Spurs overall shouldn't be too disappointed with the performance, but very toothless in front of goal. Defensive mistake from Ryan, like a horror mistake from Ryan. So there was given the Romero goal, and the Son goal was a penalty. I guess it was a penalty. Like, maybe it's a silly kick out. He just gets there ahead of Declan Rice. Just two mistakes in terms of what they actually created. They didn't score from any of those. So, those saying that Spurs had a brilliant game, I'm not going to go that far. I just said they have a performance to not be too disappointed in that. Just think in front of goal, not really good enough. Arsenal, very, very clinical, very, very good in transition, perfect game plan. It was executed. I think Erdogan was really good on the half turn, bought the fouls when he needed to. Saliba and Gabriel kind of just knew what they had to do and stay solid and kind of get rid of and distribute any of the clearances towards like an Odegaard, towards a Havertz, and then that's how that would work on a counter attack. And then again, that is clear tactics, clear tactics. And one more thing I wanted to talk about was what's his name? The tactic coach, guys. What's the name of the guy who does the tactics? The set piece coach. The set piece coach. He is cooking. He's cooking because Vicario. We know Vicario's weaknesses from corners. We know he can't come and collect the ball, and that is what I'll say. The differences between Vicario, and Raya. David Raya came out and collected so many of those floated. So Vicario, and the difference between Vicario and Raya is that Raya is able to come and collect those floated crosses. He collects it, holds it on the floor, buys extra time. You're 3-0 up. Raya is very, very good at commanding his box. Shot stopping, of course, you can work on that. But I'm talking in terms of commanding that box, in swinging crosses, out swinging crosses. He's very good at collecting those crosses, and it's massive because you look at Vicario. If he had any of those, like if he had that asset in his game to kind of command his box a bit better, Spurs wouldn't be conceding all these corners. Especially listen, if you got into halftime at 2-0 down, the game's still salvageable. But at 3-0, you're giving yourselves too much to do, way too much to do. You know what I'm saying? So again, big up Raya for that one, I'd say. Obviously, I understand it's a horror tackle, but it didn't amount to anything in the end. So I'm not really going to go in on him for the mistake. Too far, good finish from Morero, what I'd say, and a really good penalty from Son. But again, Havertz, Saka, and of course for the own goal. For me, well deserved from Arsenal. Well deserved. I think the game plan was executed. Personally, my man of the match probably would be Kai Havertz. I think just because of his hold-up play in transition, I feel like it was just excellent. I think for me, I was just looking at him going, "Right, he's really going in confidence." So as a Liverpool fan, as we're out the title race, all I can do is, as I said, be honest about what's going on. And this is what we call the business end of the season. And some have the cojones and some don't. And well, Arsenal have the cojones and Liverpool haven't. And City, of course, have just won 2-0. So you can see Haaland's back. So it's going to be an interesting title race. Not really sure what's going to happen. But look, listen, you lot, let me know who your man of the match is below as well. By the way, I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Listen, guys, it's been another episode of Big Sixpence. Make sure you guys sub to the channel, hit the like button as well. And we will see you soon.